Hi everybody, it's Cinnamon Cooney, and today we're going to be doing Claude Monet's Woman with Parasol facing left.
Facing left.
Facing left, which is this lovely little piece. Now we're doing this in acrylic, and we're not doing this in historically accurate colors. So this is not, a history art paint. Wow, that's really bright up in there, babe.
Is it?
Yeah.
I will come fix the brightness.
There's more information about this painting down in the description. The Wiki link is there. I also have a traceable because drawing should not at all be what keeps you from painting. Drawing is just a single art skill that you can develop at any point during your art career or not develop at all. Or art journey. Just whatever you're doing with your art. I mean, there's a lot of really great artists. I always like to mention Andy Goldsworthy. He didn't draw at all. I'm sure he can draw, but he just doesn't draw at all. It's just not the only thing in art. So we also have a traceable video in the Big Art Quest to talk about some of the ways that you can transfer on. The Frugal Crafter's got some great videos about how to transfer images. There's lots of stuff out there. So just know that that shouldn't be the one to stop you. Outside of drawing her in, this is a very easy painting. This is really easy. Really easy. You just need to know the steps. That's the only thing between you and getting this painting done is all the steps. It's definitely not going to be, you don't have to worry about, like, if you're at home going, I have no talent. Yeah, you do. We're going to show it to you. It's really cool when you discover it. You can be like, wait, where did all this talent come from? It's actually skills and perseverance. But, that's what art's about, is just about hanging in and developing your art skills.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing this on a 16 by 20 canvas with acrylic paint.
Yes.
I have the colors listed in the description below. I have some extra colors listed down there because some of those colors can help you with some difficulties that you might have. But the base palette, the basic base palette is, are you ready, John?
Yes.
Burnt sienna.
Mm-hmm.
Love it burnt. See how that's a nice reddish brown?
Oh, wait. Now try. Okay.
Burnt sienna.
There you go. Burnt sienna.
Push that forward a little bit. Cad yellow medium. And listen, you can save money and increase the safety of your paint by buying hue.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. Yellow ochre oxide. Sometimes they call it ochre, sometimes they call it oxide. Mm-hmm. There's a whole thing in the painting world about whether that's the same thing or not. But here's, for the purposes of you purchasing paint, it's going to be called one of those two things.
Okay.
It also, in the 1970s, was called Harvest Gold. So try not to get too wrapped up in that stuff. You just want this nice gold yellow color.
Okay.
Ultramarine blue today. Right? Cad red. And guess what? Just like the yellow, you can save money, a lot of money, by buying hue. And it's slightly safer. You should not eat paint.
No.
You should not eat paint at any point. But definitely you shouldn't eat cad paint. Like, that's paint you should never, never eat because you would have metal poisoning. Dioxazine purple and phthalo green, and of course titanium white. The two optional colors that you can use, I'm going to show them to you here, is unbleached titanium.
Okay.
Not as an exchange for the titanium white, but it can help you get a neutral mix if that's really making you crazy. If you find in your home thing that neutral parchment mix is just eluding you, that'll help. Okay. And zinc white, because it's a transparent white.
Okay.
Right? Showing you the difference between these two. I know I'm going on a long time, but difference between these two. See how the lines have disappeared on the big one, and they're showing through on the little one.
So there was a lot of questions about if you don't have unbleached white, or if you have zinc white, what is interchangeable?
Zinc white's interchangeable probably with mixing white. I mean, they're not really the same thing, but in the purposes of your painting, they kind of work the same. And unbleached titanium you could make with just a touch of either raw sienna and titanium white, or with yellow ochre and titanium white. But sometimes I'm only giving this suggestion because sometimes I find that weird mix just like blows people's minds. Not always, but just sometimes. And so for that purpose, I'm painting with acrylic brushes today.
Yes.
Brushes for acrylic paint. These are simply Simmons, right?
Yep.
Right here. These have extra firm filaments, which means they're really going to push the paint into the canvas. If you go to thebrushguys.com,
yes,
right, and you put in TheArtSherpa, you can get 5% off.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Wait, I'll have to edit that out if that ever changes.
Well, no, it'll be there.
It'll be there. They're really good guys.
Really good guys.
I really like how they're treating you.
Yeah.
Very much. And so I'm excited that they're adding to that good treatment by giving y'all a discount on those brushes. And they seem to be able to keep them in stock.
Yeah, they're doing their best to keep all of that stuff in stock. They've been one of the great things is that
they're doing their best.
They're doing their best.
They're doing their best to keep those in stock, and they're really fighting for you guys. If you guys see manufacturers or companies that are treating you well, let us know, because we'd like to pass that on to you.
That's right. You had some good feedback from one, didn't you?
Derwin pencil sharpeners treated one of our artists very, very well. She had a broken pencil sharpener. She wrote them, and they replaced it and sent her compliments of them a even more upgraded pencil sharpener. So listen, some of the companies out there treat their customers very well. And whenever you have one of those, please, 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 please go on Facebook, Twitter, wherever, and share that good customer experience so we can financially support the people who go the extra mile for us. That's
those
2
are
cents.
Good companies.
We have wishes today.
There's a lot of people asking about our wishes.
We have wishes. Let's get some wishes in. We like to put wishes on our canvas. I'm going to do them with a very light pencil so that they, did you do the love you message again?
I always
sneak that in there. With the little purple.
I know we always get so many wishes in here, and I'm going to go ahead and give you one up here from Shelly because it's a great wish.
Shelly, I would love to put a wish in from Shelly.
She wants to put wishes and prayers for all the people on the journey of cancer and other illnesses. So, and I think that's a really great wish. So,
I think that we may even see the end to many of these illnesses in our lifetime, John.
I agree.
I think that there's some stuff happening. Clever, creative people. Creativity in the medical world is generally that innovative moment when they cure something. So I'm wishing for creativity for them.
Yeah,
Come paint with us. We'll help you with that. What else have we got?
Oh, yeah. So I'm going back over. You had some notes over here for me.
I did.
And so I would like to send best wishes to all those who are feeling ill and to every child to have someone who loves and cares for them.
I really wish that. That was the one that really spoke to me. Every child. I think I get blue again because I want this to disappear in the paint. It's really important that children of the world are taken care of. Just super important for the future. We all need to work on that.
So we have a whole wash of them that are coming in. So I'm going to give you here real quick.
One more.
Okay. So a wish for all of our community, all of our community out there who are suffering for loss and depression, and because there's a lot of loss of loved ones.
I'm just surrounded by light and love if you're going through loss and depression.
Yeah, we need lots of big hugs for loss and depression. I see lots of people there. We have some miscarriages and some loss of loved ones and some depression out there in the community. We want to put lots of big hugs around them. All those who are having insomnia, we're all here.
We'll wish them sleep. That's a wish I know. Sleep. Restful sleep.
Yeah.
All right. So listen, if you guys see a wish that speaks to you, remember you can put it in your own canvas. I like to use watercolor pencils because they kind of disappear into the paint. You could use a light chalk, or if it's a wish that you want to remain out, you can always write on the back stretcher bars.
Yeah.
Let's sketch our girl in.
Okay.
Let's do that because that's crazy. Let's sketch her in.
I'm gonna see if I can zoom out on robot camera.
A robot camera.
It's out there.
Ooh, I'm gonna show you guys something. I just got something new because my mom has been on me.
Yeah.
I got this Soho spritz bottle. I think a lot of companies make these. There's a Uber Mister.
An Uber Mister.
Well, the difference is that my other Mister, which comes from CVS for also $1.
Oh, you pushed your button.
Is it back?
Yep.
Leaves bigger water droplets. New problem with equipment. It's just endless.
See, now you can push the button.
Endless. All right, so we're going to sketch her in.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this figure on the original painting was on a completely different size canvas.
We can just barely see it. Yeah.
You can see what? Oh, I'm drawing where you can see her.
Cool.
So this original piece, right? If you look at the thing, she was on a longer canvas and she's done different shapes. Monet did a bunch of these. Monet was painting all the time a bunch of these girls to the point where this one is girl with parasol facing left. That gives you an idea of how many of these he did because he was really prolific. But I like this one because it was very simple and it was such a great entry into the idea and style. And I thought it goes with all my other umbrella pieces. If you like umbrella paintings, check out this playlist because it's all of them together and I have a lot of umbrella themed paintings. My first trick to getting her in was to find my center point, which is right here on my canvas. And I came down about 3 fingers and I made a circle. Now, when you're making a circle, this is a ginger tip, and I thought this was so good. If you're having trouble getting it, she's like, no flat tires. No flat tires. So make sure that your circle is not a flat tire, but is round like a clock. Right? Isn't that kind of interesting? Now, I came down about 3 fingers again, maybe 2.5 fingers, and made a little mark. And what you do, when I'm drawing the figure in, I make an egg shape. An egg is kind of pointed at one end and rounded back at another. And this is a quick cheat. It's not really a cheat. It's just what you do when you're doing figure drawing. You make a little egg shape. At the back of the egg shape, I sweep off a neck that comes back.
Yeah.
And then back from the point of the egg, I know I'm going to have a little chin. Yes, I'm going to cover it with a scarf, but I like to know where things are. I come from the top of the head about 1/3 down. If you think about this, this is actually when a face starts. You might not know this, but most of the head is just not face. The face is really in this really tiny spot on face drawing. So I come down that little brow point so that I can run my hat line across what would be her head. And I do this like a little frown line. It's not a frown. It's very happy. Right? And I'm going to come out and make my little brim and join it. And it foreshortens back into itself. So you're seeing the wide part. And then I do that weird little point that he had. I don't know what hat she was wearing. It must have been something that was stylish at the time.
A jaunty hat.
I don't know if you guys know this, but the body is 2 heads.
Huh. I didn't know that.
So I'm just going to make sure that I have a body, whatever it is, that's about 2 of these. I like to come out for the bosom like he did. And then I've got this little corset, so I've got to bump out for that. And then she's got this. There's the little back line, right? Now, at the bottom here, what can happen is you guys can have trouble guiding yourselves through the bottom. So come up like a pretty wide hand or 1/3 of your canvas and make a little mark here. And come here, maybe this is like 4 inches here, and just make a little sloping line. You really don't want her and her skirt to go too much past this because you have to have some grassy knoll here.
Gotcha.
Not the famous grassy knoll, but this is still a grassy knoll you need to be aware of. I'm going to curve this line out and flick it up. Pull it in, short, maybe about 1/2 inch. I'm going to come down next to it and flick another little line. And then I'm going to finish my bell because the skirt is really a little bit like a bell.
Oh, nice.
All right. Now I know I'm going to have, and I did this little sketch here. I'm like, I'm going to have some grass here and some things. It's going to make this all work. That's all I'm going to do. So I've just my circle here and all this here. Here's the trick on arms. Her elbow will be here.
Where?
Your elbow will be at the waist every time right there. And I don't, how stylized, how altered your drawing is. You look at Brancusi, where's the elbow going to be?
Yeah.
Right?
It's true.
He may have elongated the waist, but where did he bend the arm? If he bent it, was right there. So this is the trick when I'm putting in this arm is to make sure that my elbows do this little chicken dance are at your waist. That's all it is. And then I'm just going to come down and make sort of like this little teardrop for the hand because he didn't get real specific about that, did he? Then he drew a little line off here. He says, oh, she's got a little parasol she's holding. I'm not going to worry about that too much because Sky's going to paint it out. But I'm going to give her an arm that's clearly bent here.
Right.
And a little mitt shape that's holding that. That's all that is. To get the umbrella in, right above her hat, right? If you think of the apex of her little brim here, coming out, I'm going to make a little line. And that's going to be that point of my umbrella. It's going to scoop to the right here and scoop. Wait, that's the left.
What are you?
Scoop to the right, scoop to the left. It's about the scoops this direction will be more open and bigger than the scoops to the right. I'm going to do another little scoop.
Wait, why is that?
Because of the perspective, the foreshortening of the umbrella. We're actually seeing some of the top here and we're seeing into the concave of her umbrella. So on my flat surface, when I'm trying to say, hey, we're seeing that, that's how I do it. I flatten out these scoops, and that lets some of the umbrella, see it here, peek out, still show, which is why the circle can be nice. And that's what I'm trying to do is because I'll have that nice in the sun. I'll create some shading here. And that's what's going to help. If you look right here, to create that concave umbrella shape.
Tip the other way. No.
Concave. Oh, sorry. Concave umbrella shape. I don't know where I'm at. I'm like trying.
I could do this one too.
Okay, you were in a good one. Here, I'm going to go this way. How's it go? See that? So that's what it takes. And that's just easy peasy pudding and pie. Now, I'm going to sketch in a little cloud area up here, coming up from my upper right-hand corner, about an inch over on the top. I'm going to make a little random little shape, and it's going to come and join her umbrella. And then it's going to randomly come like this. There's some cloud. We've all seen that cloud. We know that fluffy little guy.
Yep.
He lives up there in the sky. Monet knew him. And then Bob knew him. And now we know him. And I'm going to make another little fluffy little random shape that comes over this way. And he's going to come up like this. Now, she's on this cool hill. So she's got another couple cool clouds that we're going to do. We're going to do a little peeker. You know this cloud. He peeks in. Right? There he is peeking in. And then this one. Now, here's my trick with clouds. I'm very random. Look at how random I am when I'm drawing. So even though my brush strokes are going to take out some of this design work.
Some of those are hard to see there.
It's still there for me to follow. Did I get back on?
Yeah, you're on.
Okay. Like I've turned myself on, turned myself off. I got to get used to that. This one's going to come down. It's going to jut down. He's going to have some shape. Look at that. So there she's on this hill. Right? The grass is kind of dry. She's got this beautiful sky. And we know what's happening here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's what you're going to do. And I'll show you guys if you have the unbleached, right? Or if you don't, I'm going to show you both ways. I'm going to show you all the ways it can be done. And I'm going to grab this number 12 bright.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get my paint wet with my water, not my coffee. That's the trick I'm going to do. And I'm going to kind of blow your mind with what I'm going to do next.
What are you going to do next?
I'm going to take a little of this gold over to this white. And I'm going to paint in this canvas with this gold and white. Now I'm going to go around my little cloud shapes and her. Right?
Yeah.
Interestingly enough. This first mixture is just going to be all the space that's my sky. This is like, you know, the acrylic colored ground.
Oh, yeah.
It's also like an underpainting. But what we're doing is we're saying we know our strokes coming up are going to be kind of open and loose, especially if you guys in the art card did Monet's Twilight, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Did you guys do Monet's Twilight?
You're messing with me on the cameras today.
I'm messing with John. He was like kind of like really relaxed this morning. I thought, no, you're on your laurels. I got stuff going on this week. You're on your laurels.
I got 3 buttons and a D-pad now.
I know, it just gets worse and worse. So I'm not having to be that specific, guys. I'm not having to be that specific. And listen, this is why this is easy. Once you get the sketch in or traced in, it's just really kind of like, this part's just like a coloring book, right?
Yeah. A
lot of art has a lot in common with the coloring book. Don't tell the other artists that. They get all upset. No, it's much more boring.
Now,
but there's a lot in common with it.
If I can, I'm going to say hi to all of our big community out here today.
I would love that. I'm painting in the area around my clouds, so you say hi to everybody.
It's really awesome, and like we have like over 240 people out here with us right now, just jamming away, drawing this awesome.
Come on, guys, I love it.
Or painting this awesome painting with us. But I wanted to say that I noticed that there were a lot of people asking whether or not they should share their pictures up here, and Flame Gremlin was passing along that there's a lot of that. Of course, please, we love seeing them. I've been going out on up on both on social media on our website and just going through all the pictures here over the past couple days.
Overcoming your shy. John is actually quite shy, so it's hard for him to comment. So he's overcoming his shy.
Yeah, I'm trying to make a point of coming out there and talking more with you guys.
Because you were lurking before.
I was. I lurked a lot.
And then commenting to me.
And then I would tell Cinnamon what to comment over her shoulder. I'd say this, say this, say this.
You need to do your own commenting.
And I was like, well, nobody knows who I am. So I'm finally commenting. But and there's a lot of congratulations out there to you, Cinnamon, for hitting over 40,000.
Thank you. Well, congratulations to you. Thank you very much. That was due to your excellent shares. I see you guys out there going, hey, this is fun and free and you can do it too. I love that you guys do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
That really helps. That's how it happens. I think that has a lot to do with me going to New York. I really do.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who are really happy that you're going, and we're all here to support you, Cinnamon. So
I appreciate it. I do. I appreciate everything you guys do. I appreciate the shares and the likes, the comments, and the subs. I do. And I also appreciate, the members of our community that are closed captioning the videos.
I know. Isn't that awesome?
More people will be able to watch them. I appreciate the members of our community who are liking and commenting on everything. There's you guys, I call you light keepers. They keep the energy so positive and inclusive. And I love you guys. There's a group of you that just shares and shares and shares and shares and shares. No. And I love that. And those are all really good ways to help out.
Now, can I ask you?
You can ask me anything.
It looks like you've got some darker color there closer to that cloud. Was that intentional?
You know what? Probably. There's a bunch of weird little subline decisions that my brain will make that your brain might possibly make. And you'll start... have you noticed when you watch other painters that they'll get some crazy color on their brush and they just start looking for places to put it? They just start looking. I think it's one of my favorite things watching other really experienced painters is they got something on their brush and you can just sort of see them. Oh, I'll put some over here. Ooh, I'm going to put some over here. Woo! And that's okay to do. And so sometimes I'll get a color or tone and I'll be like, hey, that'd look good there. It can be nice to create a darker tone around clouds.
Just to imply some depth or something?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a weird thing that you'll just start to do on your own.
Huh.
I don't know if I moved my mic off too far.
You're good.
I'm good?
Yeah.
I'm good. He says I'm good. Now down here, I'm going to go a little darker than I did in my sky. Like you do. And I'm going to kind of paint my little hill in. Just a little darker. Not the full ochre, but just a little darker. Right? Not the full ochre. No. Sorry. This is so weird. And just get that painted in. Painting it in. Just painting it in. I just need to know that it's different than the sky above it. So I can see all the shapes that I so carefully sketched in.
So gotcha. So that someone was just asking about, and let me go see who that was.
Okay.
Vicky. So Vicky was asking, could you just paint the canvas yellow before you drew it in? Oh, you push your button.
Yes. Yes.
You could do that.
You could do that. And if you're confident to do that, definitely do it. Okay. When I'm doing it on my own, I'll just do that and sketch it in with paint. But I recognize that's not appropriate for here.
Right. Oh, okay.
There are things that I do in my own art practice, and we do them a little more, you guys know, in our like 2-hoop, 3-hoop paintings, right? Where we throw in some more of those techniques. But when you're new, having a map in your canvas is essential. I'm going to switch brushes to a smaller brush. This is a number 8 bright.
Ooh. Danielle offered to help do some closed captioning. So
Danielle, that would be amazing.
Yes, thank you. We love all of that help.
Now, interestingly, I just grabbed some of that unbleached titanium. Can you guys see that right here?
Oh, I got to move the little camera up there. Okay. So
now you could just mix either, if you want to get a similar thing, you just mix more white into your ochre to get a very, very light color. This just lets me know that this is just a slightly different space. Right? And I just wanted to show you the difference between the mix.
Gotcha.
Right? But you could just mix a light color, and I'll do that on this cloud. How's that work? Show you guys the 2 ways you could do it.
Yeah, that looks nice.
Right? By the way, off-white, if you have a bottle of something that says off-white, that'll work as an unbleached titanium.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Don't get too, we're not trying to forge something that the Smithsonian is going to get confused by. So right. You don't even have to worry about that at all.
Well, aren't we working in a different medium altogether?
Well, yeah, there was nothing that was going to fool them. So, I mean, at that point, you're just having a good time and spending some time with Monet. But you can see now that cloud against what will be the blue sky. Mm-hmm. Right? That's just a thing that you can see. Now, another thing I could do is just take a scotch or a smidge of my yellow oxide and mix it into a lot of white. and do this here. So just as long as it's a different tone or value, right? Different value than the background. So I can see it later when I'm painting in my stuff. And also, these are kind of fun, valuable layers. I actually found this was a fun way of doing this. It was all right. It was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, as ways go. So that was one way of getting it in. I just don't want a pure white background for my clouds. It's just something. And we're going to be back with some other colors and some other things. Another mixture you could put on your cloud is to scotch a smidge of the burnt sienna and the white.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's another thing that you could do. So I know you guys might be really new at painting and you're like, what is she changing up? Because here's the deal, guys. There's a lot of ways to get it done. Get her done. But notice how I'm keeping the space that I have in my clouds. I know where they are still. So if I really worked hard at sketching those in, they're not gone. And also now my canvas is covered in paint. What are we looking for? Okay. My canvas is covered in paint. You know, canvas is covered in paint.
Yeah.
And here's the deal, guys. There's just lots and lots and lots of ways you can get it done. Lots and lots and lots of ways you can get it done.
Shifting sides on me.
Wasn't trying to shift. Well, I have to paint all the clouds in.
No, it's okay. It's now much more like playing a Nintendo game back here.
Is it? Well, you're good at that. Oh, I got a lot of seeing on that, but I'm not that worried about it, am I? No, I'm not. I am not that worried about it at all. Okay.
It's really a pretty color, though.
Isn't it?
So, yeah.
It's just nice. It's just fun. And we're going to have to get her blocked in, too. Oh, my goodness. Blocking her in.
So he did a lot of paintings then, didn't he?
He was prolific. Even, and especially in terms of his day. I'm taking a little burnt sienna, just a scotch of it, over to my ultramarine. And I'm mixing in a lot of white. It's going to give me a nice gray. And I'm going to paint this base gray in on her skirt and bodice.
Gotcha.
Okay, this is just her underpainting, okay? We're just getting her laid in where she's at. So when we go to town, we want quite a little gray color here. Yeah, he was super prolific. And it was hard to get paint. And it was hard to get canvases, brushes. It wasn't easy to get things. And he was not in any way starving. He was a quite wealthy artist. He had his little business kit together. So, and he painted through disability.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. As he got older, he lost his sight and had a great deal of health issues going on. And he never stopped painting. He created tools and things to help him steady himself. He created I think he suffered from, internets will tell me. I'm going to, just off the top of my head, because it's been a while since art school, arthritis and eyesight issues.
Yeah, that sounds familiar to me.
You know, so, and if you think there just wasn't medicine at the time, there wasn't, you know, what were their choices for pain meds? Opium. That's not really helpful. Yeah. I'm not saying oxycodone is much more helpful, but dude, the opium den was a lot worse.
Yeah.
So artists had less choices about how to manage like anxiety, pain, depression, the things that a lot of people paint through. And he certainly did, but he never stopped, and he painted through his life. So you have to kind of love that.
Now, could you use raw sienna there?
You know, here's the thing. You can use raw sienna, but at some point you're going to need to deepen it with either a blue or a black for some parts of the painting. But
Gotcha.
Yes, you could. You could. It's just, it has that burnt part missing, so.
Miss Luna would like to say hello.
To everybody. Would you like to say hello?
Hello.
Oh,
She just wanted to come say hello. She's been over here patiently waiting.
Has she really?
Yeah.
She's working on her patiences.
She is.
It's hard to be patient when you're little.
Lots of dancing and patience.
That pretty much sums up Luna. Dancing and working on patience.
Yeah.
All right, so I've got her sort of blocked in with that, and then I'm going to do something interesting, John. I'm going to come over and grab a smidge of my Dog's Name Purple, and I'm going to get her arm in. And this will show that it's different than the painting around it. It also gives me a nice underpainting that has the tones I'm trying to get.
Oh, nice.
So that saves me some time. You could, if you're having trouble painting things in with the bright like I'm doing, go ahead and switch to a smaller detail brush. This is just a lot of experience with this brush. And so if you're not feeling it, even if I haven't switched and you feel the need to switch, just switch.
Mm-hmm.
Switch.
It's your painting.
It's your painting. I'm going to mix a little of the burnt sienna and the Dog's Name Purple. And just come over here and sort of paint in this underpainting part. Yeah?
Yeah.
Just get that in because we know we got to work that out later. But that way we've got this nice little tone in for this hand. In acrylic painting, guys, nothing is tragic or permanent or forever. You're not married to your mistakes. It's so fantastic, unlike life. And actually, I don't think you're married to mistakes in life, too. I think painting shows you how everything can just be painted out and repainted back in.
Yep.
So, you know, if you have a boo-boo, all you got to do is let the paint dry. Isn't that kind of like a metaphor? All you got to do is give it time.
Yeah.
You just got to let the paint dry and paint it out and paint it back in. It's just, you're creating this painting. You're creating your life. These things are in your hands.
Yeah.
Literally. It's so comforting to know they are.
And, you know, this is a really achievable painting for
shockingly achievable.
Yeah. I mean, it's really broken down with the traceable and...
Yeah,
you know,
shockingly achievable. I forgot to even paint in some background over here.
And that's just, is it that okay?
Yeah, that's totally fine too. I'm like, I better catch that at some point before we're all done. Like you do.
Like you do.
Like you do. Because sometimes you're just painting along and you're like, oh, I forgot to paint that section. But it's no big deal. It's no big deal. My kids are singing that song all the time. No big deal. I'm not going to sing it because Content ID will get me. But
So Ian wants to know.
Hi, Ian.
Are you deliberately putting in warm tones at this stage?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'm glad Ian caught that because I don't know what he's talking about.
So what it is when I looked at the painting and I was getting a sense of what it was, I noticed that there was this kind of glow coming from underneath. Now, that's likely a combination of how he prepped his canvas and raw linen and those types of things, which none of us are even dealing with. But one way I can create that feeling is by underpainting it with warm tones. And so when the cool goes over it, there's this... It's a glow.
Now, a warm tone is like on the color wheel warm?
Well, no, remember when we did the art quest? Yeah. Yeah, where it's like the warm tones are closer to the yellows and reds and the cool tones are closer to the greens and blues and purples.
Okay, cool, yeah.
And a color could be warm, even though it was a cool color or warm color. A color itself could be warm or cool. Right? All right.
Okay. Right. I think I'm tracking now.
You're tracking now? All right. I'm going to take a little yellow and white here. Too much yellow. Doesn't take a lot of yellow. It's a powerful yellow. And I'm going to just paint some of this space in my umbrella. Just give that underpaint. I'm going to be back with greens and all kinds of things, but this will be nice to have underneath here. And thank you, Ian, for catching that. Like you do.
Like you do, very much so. Thank you.
Like you do.
I'm going to...
Like you do. Fun stuff. This is fun stuff. And again, not how you do it in oils. Like a lot of times when I'm looking at a painting, when I'm looking at a Degas, or I'm looking at a painting that I like, that I'd like to own. Le Chat Noir is one I did. You guys might not know this, but there's a step-by-step from like 2013 of Le Chat Noir on the Facebook page in a photo album.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just sitting there. Nobody ever finds it, but it's there.
Well, wait, when we get back to your bedtime book with that it in there. So
Le Hoot Noir.
yeah.
Yeah. Who in the Night. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Because you got to tell the kids bedtime stories.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a little yellow on the top. I'm going to let it be a little brighter. It's going to get toned out.
Okay.
Right? And I realize I just want this part of my umbrella showing. I have some of it sketched in I don't want showing. And that's okay. I'm like, once I see it, I'm like, just don't paint you in. And I have to paint in the sky there. And that's just something that, like, things will happen. Especially if you're teaching, I'll tell you what, guys, things will happen when you're teaching.
Yeah.
I call it the slip, where you're just going along and you're like, wait, what happened? Why is that painting sideways? Because you at home should be like enjoying the peace and quiet of painting.
Yes.
Right? I'm going to grab some just ultramarine blue. Right? Just a little bit darker than everything else. And kind of put in a base for that hat. Right? So we know where that is. Now we kind of know where everything is. Now we can move it or change it or alter it as much as we like once the paint is dry. This is the magic of acrylic paint. You can do anything you like once the paint is dry. I've got a number 6 bright that I've left soaking in water. Too long. Too long. And touch my painting and make sure that it's dry.
I kind of feel like Goldilocks should be called Rambo because, I mean,
she's just survived a lot.
Just left in a swamp forever.
That's so true. I took a little white and my ultramarine blue, and this is going to be my darkest color on the painting. And I'm going to be doing not such dashy dashes like what we had, right? But still fairly quick brush marks.
Well, I'm going to jump in and say hi to Lindsay because I just saw Lindsay.
Lindsay, the frugal crafter.
The frugalist.
She's super famous now. She's on Craftsy. Do you guys know she has tutorials on Craftsy?
Isn't that insane?
Craftsy. So impressed. I have taken things from Craftsy. I have. Yes. I like Craftsy as a website.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much.
I like Lindsay.
I like Lindsay too.
I'll go there if they got Lindsay.
It's so true. So many interesting things to learn and do in life. So many different kinds of ways to be creative. And these ways of being creative are all interchangeable. These skills work everywhere. Mm-hmm. I'm just dashing along. You can kind of see my little dashy strokes. And this undercoat is showing through, and I'm not stressed about that at all. Not in any way. Not in any way. Just dashing along. So I'm wondering what Miss Lindsay's up to today.
She's on her lunch break.
She's on her lunch break.
Isn't it awesome? She comes and joins us on her lunch break. She has so.
Is this Tuesday?
It's I think all day.
It's been like getting ready for that next step thing. Doesn't she have to be in the hot seat or have somebody in the hot seat on creators like in a minute?
Probably. She's jumping from one to another all the time.
It's so true.
She's like the busiest
person.
I know. She's like
so busy doing Lindsay things, being Lindsay on the YouTube.
On the YouTubes.
I remember when I first found Lindsay on the YouTube being like, whoa, this will make a lot of video. So many videos. I'm adding more white to my brush. And look at the load here. See how it's not going way far into the bristles?
Uh-huh.
That's important. If it gets away from you, goes way far, wipe it off, rinse it out, and reload.
She says she just got done with the video creator show.
Everyone who's on YouTube, who has a YouTube channel, should go watch that. Because they will tell you how to have the YouTube channel better. I often, on my Tuesdays, John will tell you because he has to listen to it, go by right after I get off the air and catch up on whatever they had to say.
Although it's funny because I have to multitask, what I read first was that Lindsay just got a drone today. And I was like, really?
Jealousy.
That's the coolest thing I have heard yet. She's going to be doing drone footage.
That would be fantastic, wouldn't it?
I could just see her son out there piloting the drone for her. She gets awesome footage. Be funny. You should do it.
Super funny. I'm going to sippy. I need some caffeine. Squeak.
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 You know you have a little button for that now.
He's giving me a button to turn off my sound and turn on my sound, but coordination wise, I'm like painting, I'm teaching, I'm like, there's a button and I got to drink coffee. That's like a lot. I'm working on it. Just pulling a little ultramarine and some nice white. I'm just traveling along, making this nice, happy little sky.
There you go.
Around this pretty woman facing left. He painted her facing right. He painted her with a kid. There was a lot of painting her.
Audie says she's already got a drone and drone footage.
Does she?
I'm guessing so.
You know what? She might.
It's something that I want to really do someday.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you kind of have some.
Yeah, a little bit. But I mean, you know, I'd like to do some big outdoor, you know, cinematography with drones.
So I'm just dashing here. It's now, I've got a bigger brush, right? And you can also, you don't have to go all one direction. You can break up these dashes on this one like this.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm kind of crisscrossing. That's okay because of how this piece was done.
Oh, okay.
This is one of those pieces, like, I was painting it and John's like, I don't know what you're doing over there. But as it comes together, it just comes together. It's just one of those paintings. All paintings have an ugly stage. That's just a true thing. A true thing in paintings is they all have an ugly stage. I think watercolors have less of an ugly stage by far
It's just
than acrylics. Acrylics have a real ugly duckling moment. All of them.
they just need those layers to
Yeah.
get in there. You gotta just get some blocks of layers in.
Oils don't necessarily have to. They can, but they don't necessarily have to. But acrylics, they got to go through fire.
You know, especially grisailles. Those don't tend to have an ugly stage so much.
No, man, this is, it's a nice tonal steady. But
Look, I threw down an art word.
you did. I heard you throwing down the art word. Everybody, John's learning art word.
Well, you know, it helps. I was out there and I was looking at all of the pictures up from the community on the website.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember seeing the grisaille apples. And so it was like, oh, yeah. And
Well,
like,
plus you were here for the grisaille
well,
apples.
But surprisingly enough, it's like, you know.
Those all have all good stages.
I'm so busy working, you know, pushing all the buttons that, you know, I pick up stuff just
But you
from
don't
chatting,
necessarily see everything we've got going
yeah,
on.
not really.
So I'm just getting a little darker in my tone. Just a titch, just a smidge here. Just something that's happening. Something you could do at home. Right? Notice this also that I'm really working from the outside edges of my paint pops. I don't scoop my centers. Also looks like I'm ready for a micro mist.
A
Hey,
micro
Lindsay, you
mist?
get a micro mist. It was on the sale. Because you know what? $1 wasn't cheap enough.
Well, I'm gonna grab Luna a little snacky here
Snacky
while you're talking.
I like that. So, you know, I'm just putting this in and I'm just dashing my brush strokes. I'm not that stressed about it, right? Here's the thing. It's very loose painting. That's the lovely part of Impressionism. Is you don't got to get all wound up, right? You can just sort of enjoy this. And again, you can let this nice, lovely canvas that you pre-painted show through. You know, and you can hit a couple layers. It just is going to work out. I think your number one thing when you're painting is to just hold on. You know, I wish we had a really good hold on while painting anthem. I know everybody who's been here for a while and has done a few paintings, they understand exactly what I mean, which is there's this moment, this just critical moment when you're like, I don't know what I was thinking. I have it too. Sometimes I have an idea in a painting and the process of getting it done takes me to such an ugly phase that I question that I ever painted before. John's heard it happen. I will be in here and I'm like, what was I thinking? is this going to come out? And
It
John's like, I'm
will.
sure it's going to come out. They all come out. And I'm like, I don't know. This one's really bad.
Yeah.
I thought it would work, but I'm not sure it's going to work. And John's like, just keep going. I'm like, I
Yeah.
spent a lot of money on the canvas, so I'm going to finish it. But there is, for everybody, there's this just wackadoo stage. Sorry for hitting my mic. There's this
That's right.
wackadoo stage. Whack a mic, wackadoo stage. Everybody has it. Watercolors don't have it. If you don't enjoy the wackadoo stage, try watercolors. Watercolors are lovely. They just develop.
Yeah, I remember reading about one of our community members who was having trouble on the fox painting and was just all ready to give it up and throw in the towel.
Yeah.
And walked away and came back another day later after a refreshed mind and was like able to finish it and really happy that she did.
Yeah, because the fox is one that has such an ugly painting stage.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for y'all when you're in the fox because I know there's this moment I can almost hear it like a disturbance in the force where I can hear your souls question your reality. So I've got this in and you can see how loose. John's tracking me so you can see how loose and painterly it is.
Mm-hmm.
And super easy, and I'm just trucking along. All right, having a good time. I'm going to put some more. This one's slightly darker up here. Getting a little darker around here. This is going to be so pretty when I put her in. Just dashing. If you did Twilight with us, you're like, wow, this is just so relaxing. We could have done this first. But listen, we've certainly heard from Sandra and other people who are seeing significant improvements on their blood pressure and those physical stats. And I swear that's what's kept mine low all these years is the constant painting. There's been a lot of studies that show this stuff really, really drops the blood pressure.
Yeah.
You know what none of the studies say?
No.
That the painting has to be so good it goes in a museum. None of the studies ever say that.
That's true.
Just the act of painting is enough to get that feeling of improvement, that feeling of well-being.
Well, it's. I mean, I'm just. I have so much fun just watching you and chatting with everybody out here.
Yeah.
It's so relaxing just watching all the how you do this. So,
yeah. When this is a social, special experience that we all have, but there's also value to that quiet time in your studio.
Yeah.
And if it's 15 or 20 minutes, it's 15 or 20 minutes. I miss this much because my studio is the heat of an oven. I am literally in an easy bake.
Yeah. Well,
if you looked up, you'd be like, that's an easy bake oven.
It's not really an easy bake. It's a quick bake. It's a lot of lights up there.
There's a lot. We're learning about lighting and we didn't do LED.
Well, there's some LEDs, but LEDs cost a lot
more.
Of money.
Too much for comfort. It was too much money for the comfort.
Well, we did go from incandescent to fluorescent, which was huge.
Oh,
drop in heat.
Seriously, I was getting a sunburn. I'm going to keep adding white to this. I'm going to lighten this mixture a little bit through here as it gets close to her on this side of the sky.
Yeah.
And you'll notice I use the edge of my brush right here sometimes if I've got to get a crisp line. So I like to use on my brush. This part is a sharp part, so it gives you nice little lines. And then this part puts down the paint wide, so I will often alternate between those two features on my brush.
Gotcha.
Just things you might not know. I like to talk about what I'm doing when I'm doing it. See, I just quietly switched to my edge there.
You just roll the brush?
Yeah, I just roll the brush. I'm always rolling the brush in my fingers. That's why I kind of like the robot cam because I'm hoping it catches some of the part where I'm rolling my brush.
It does a bit. So, it just depends on the angle that you're at there.
That's something that you just develop over time. You just start to get a brush roll going.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a little darker right here and come up right here with this just slightly darker space. Just a little darker. Just a little darker. Coming up. There we go. But then I'm going to get more into the white there. Lighten it back up. Super fun stuff. Painting on a Tuesday. I'm so happy to be sharing this with you guys. I really like umbrella paintings. If y'all haven't noticed, owls and umbrellas. I kind of like them. I like to put me some people under an umbrella. Hopefully y'all are not sick of the umbrellas yet because I feel like I have more umbrellas in me.
I think
like there's more umbrella story. But if umbrellas are over, you can let me know. It's like, no more umbrella. Got it.
No, they seem to be liking the umbrella.
Is it? Is it okay?
Umbrellas are okay.
Because I still feel like we haven't done a guy under an umbrella in a city.
Yep.
And I feel like, there's still more umbrella story to tell.
There's more umbrella story.
I do. Ah, so much fun stuff. Just having some fun here. Right? There we go. So there's this sky.
And it's very crosshatchy.
Yeah, it's, you're just dabbing and cross-hatching, and you can even go back, and it's very open, and bits of the canvas show through, and you just, if you feel like something needs to be like, I could re-soften my upper edge, I'm going to get that darker blue and come up here and be like, maybe you could blend a little more. Look at that. Coming up there, just making sure that that's, it's darker up there. It makes a difference from, if you ever get to see these paintings in the museum, you'll notice that they're quite intense up front, but when you get away, they become very serene.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It's a very interesting thing. They're not what you think they look like. I love the museums, and I'm not trying to call out no museums, but it just feels like sometimes the prints and the reproductions of the books look nothing like the actual paintings when you see them.
Yeah.
It doesn't just seem like that. It often is that. Actually, I'm just going to say it. Often you're just sitting there going like, that doesn't look any... I mean, I know it's the same painting, but did the photographer just decide color balance? Meh. You're like, it doesn't look like that, and it doesn't feel like that. And sometimes you just got to go. I know it can be hard to go to the museums. A lot of them have free days.
Yeah.
A lot of museums have free days.
Highly suggest you do that.
It's worth it. It's actually, wow. It's not just for a Ferris Bueller movie cutscene.
And
it's for you too.
Yeah.
It's so much fun to just go and look at that and go, what? Because that artist was just like you, right? They weren't sitting there going, some of them knew they were famous artists, but most of them were just like, I don't know what I'm doing. My family thinks I've lost my mind, and I'm painting here in this little hovel.
Well, Flame brought up a really good point, too. And it's like, and I noticed this, too, when I went out and was looking at paintings, is that after seeing you paint and having so much time with you, that you then have an understanding of those brushstrokes. So when you're looking at a canvas that somebody else has painted, there's a much more understanding. And,
it's interesting.
It's really crazy to have that. So definitely go to the museum.
And
definitely
you'll
go
see
look
some
at paintings.
pieces. There's an artist I really love, Biggers. Biggers.
Yeah.
And I remember, I'd seen him in a book and thought it was compelling, right? Like subjectively compelling.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't understand the scale of the work at all until I saw it live. And literally, and I'm not even being weird or fruity. I don't know if any of you have had this. I wept.
Wow.
I literally had like this really embarrassing crying moment and see, now I'm tearing up again. In the museum, you can't understand his work until you see it live. It just doesn't photograph right.
Wow.
And when you see it live and you feel it and you look down the wall and it's still going down the wall and you take it all in like that, it hits you like a wave of humanity, which is why art is such a universal language. I didn't know him as an artist, right? I didn't know his experience. I didn't know his story, but I understood him as a human being standing in front of his painting in a way that was very intimate and personal and really transformative.
Wow.
Goofy. I know. Goofy. I'm goofy. So true, though. All right. You guys are like at home going.
So now on a serious note.
Sorry. All right. I've got a little bit of blue just here, and I'm going to let it pick up into my white just a titch. So my white isn't just pure white. And I'm going to come here and kind of just dash in my little clouds. Woody, woody, woo. Woody, woody, woo. Woody, woody, woo. This space is also, and I'll put it out and show you what I mean, why it's a possible tool if you're having trouble. This is also a possible good space for the zinc white. Sometimes, or the mixing white. If you're just having a terrible time, with the whites, sometimes a translucent white will help you. See that? How that's a little different? It just lets a little more of the painting come through. Right? So if you're just having a hard time getting that feeling of cloud or atmosphere or mist, I just like to talk about these tools. You don't have to have them. I think what I'm going to start doing is putting them in a subcategory of optional tools. Like, how the yoga instructor says you could use this block while she's looking at me every time. Which if I don't go. They speak to the entire class, but they always looking at me.
Yeah.
Dad, I will get to my toes when I'm good and ready. My feet and I are not familiar. I'm just dashing this in. It has a little blue in it. It has a little white. It has a little blue. It has a little white. Just coming along.
You picked up a little bit of color there?
Just a little.
Just a little bit?
Just a scotch. Just a smidge. Just an emerald amount of color. Emerald's at home going, oh, she said my name. Not really. I don't actually think that's true. So see how that kind of just made that little cloud there?
It made a little cloud.
Now I can go back with a little of my blue and a little more white. I can kind of come up here. You can grab your sink as a good place to do it and just create some tonality to your cloud if you need it, if it just feels too uniform, because you don't want on a painting like this for everything to be just the same Home Depot color. You want it to change up and be interesting. Like you like to change up and be interesting. You're interesting.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, I remember in this movie, it was, oh gosh, what was it? It was with the, such a pivotal movie in the 90s, and now, of course, I'm completely blank. But the line in it was, she's a total Monet. Looks beautiful from far away, but up close, she's a hot mess.
Huh.
And, which I was actually quite offended at. Clueless! That was the movie. Which is that remake of Pygmalion,
You're
I
right.
think. Because I sit there and think about these things. You know, oh, wait, no, it wasn't Pygmalion. It was Jane Austen's Emma. Clueless was a remake of Emma.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. I'll have to go
that
back
was just Emma, that whole movie. I'm like, I'm just watching Emma with a girl that speaks in Valley. But okay. I like Austen. Anyways, she's total Monet. You know what? We're all total Monets. We're all incredibly beautiful. And sometimes up front, our brush strokes are a little bit rough. But you don't hear Monet painting just apologize for itself. Right? It's not something, I'm sorry, I have some freckles and I have some things. And no, Monet's like, I'm fabulous. Stand over there and you'll get it. You know what I'm saying? It's like we get up too close to ourselves and pick apart the faults, isn't it? We get up too close to our paintings. When you're up on this, right, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, what's going wrong? Stand back across the room and take another look.
I like that squinty eye back artist look thing that you do.
Yeah, you want to do it?
Just
I don't know if it can show me, though. I go back and see, as the further I get away, the better it is. There's no way to catch it on film yet. We're working on it.
I have a RoboCam. I can do anything now.
You can follow me around the hot mess that is the studio. See, I just did it about my studio. My studio is fine. I get to come in here and paint every day. Yeah, that's the thing. We apologize for the little details instead of celebrating the big overall scope of the beauty of our lives.
Yeah.
What's that about?
I don't know.
It's crazy. We're crazy. I'm going to come over here and make a little cloud. I started painting him in. He was a little visitor, an intruder. Bob agrees with me. It's very cool. I've just invoked Bob, so the whole rest of my day goes better. When it's going bad in your studio, just invoke the Bob, and he'll come help you. He's still teaching from the big art school in the sky. I believe that's true. Don't you believe that's true?
I do.
I do. I think Bob is in the sky. I think he's highly influential on YouTube. Oh, we're about to go way off the reservation with what's in him in these. I'm putting this light blue down here for this nice little hillside cloud. Make sure it's a little bit lighter than the background so that it can show up. Just dashing along, having a wonderful time painting in my happy little hillside cloud. Happy little hillside cloud. Now, if you love this and you love the other Monet, my mom has Lady in a Garden, which is Ginger Cook Live.
Mm-hmm.
You can go paint Lady in a Garden. You're ready for that. You can have a whole collection of this nonsense all around your house. People will be like, oh, I love your paintings. I love them so much. I don't know why it's so weird. I'm so weird.
You know, it's funny because
just getting that dust on my brush. Dust on my brush.
one of the things I've noticed about seeing pictures of our community's houses
Uh-huh.
is that a lot of them share the same experiences where they went from having little to no artwork on the wall
To artwork everywhere.
and how that changes the feeling
Mhm.
and of your life, really. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so amazing to have those pictures up on the wall. So please keep sharing those and posting them.
We love them.
I do.
We love them so much. Just become the hippos from Fantasia. We love them so much, darling. All right, so I've got this here. And you can kind of see these little clouds, can't you? They just kind of show up lightly against the background, like clouds would. That's how they'd be. You could come in with another little layer of white. Just mess with my zinc oxide since it's here anyways. You know, you can come in with a little more white here and there and pull those up. But this is really all it is. You're just little clouds, a little bit of white, little girl standing there in her corset, looking all cute. Not feeling probably pretty good because she's in a corset. Just pointing out the obvious, but okay. Rinsing out my brush. I'm trying to be better about rinsing these out and putting them down so I don't pop them. I love these so much. You know, but any brush that is economical, has a good firm filament, the bristles stay in the ferrule, the company treats you well. I just pulled my brush apart. It's fine, it still works. I glue it.
That's when you've blown. That one's when you've blown up and taken.
I have done terrible things to it, but the other wash brushes are far away. Can I get a warmed up coffee? Yeah. Oh, I need a sippy. Do you guys ever have days like that where you're like, it is just a three cup of coffee. It's a 3 cup of coffee Tuesday. 3 cups of coffee Tuesday, sippy Tuesday. I know, I should be having lemon water. I've had a lot of lemon water this week. Like a lot. I'm fairly hydrated. I really needed some coffee. There's been a lot of healthy life choices happening up in here. I think healthy life choices would be more fun if I had a personal chef, like Lisa Vanderpump, is when I think healthy life choices would really be delightful, right? Where it's like, or that girl, Totally Rock Christine, you know, like, you know, she makes the stuff and it looks all beautiful in her bowl, and then I follow the video and I make it in my bowl and it just looks like vegetable mess. And she's like, and I believe her. I think she's being honest. I think I must fundamentally be doing something wrong with the beet salad. I'm just saying, because I'm there, I'm like, and John eats it and he's like, oh, sweetie, it's so colorful. Puts it down. He's like starving to death.
It is. Well, it's very nice. Beet salad. What can you say?
I don't know. I just think I'm messing up the recipe.
No, it's good. I like beet salad.
Who ate the first beet? Let's go get them and slap them.
That good?
Just tell them no. Stop it. Put that back in the earth. That's not edible. Stop it. Stop it. That cheeseburger. No, I'm sorry.
Right off the cheeseburger tree.
I don't want to upset Lindsay. She's one of those very responsible and vegetarians. I was vegetarian for a little while. Okay. I've got to do my wonderful, wonderful umbrella. So I'm going to take a little of my ultramarine blue.
Yep.
Kind of over this way to visit my phthalo green. Again, not historically accurate colors. You hear me mention those, and if you're wondering what are historically accurate colors, just as a weird point, Golden has an entire line of them, so you can just buy the whole kit.
What does that even mean, though?
That means that the colors that artists actually painted with during these time frames for reals, the pigments and materials that they actually used.
Oh, so like if you're wanting to do a study on this painting for real.
For reals, you could look up the colors and then purchase those from Golden if you didn't want to do it in oil. All right, so I'm painting on the edge now, right? And then pulling this down, pulling this down, pulling this down, pulling this down, and painting on the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Pulling this down. So I paint at the edge and then pull it in. That's all I'm doing. About 1/4 of an inch or a salvage edge. Maybe 1/8 of an inch here. Just a smidge.
Lindsay had a tofurkey sausage for lunch.
Stop it! Did you? A tofurkey? Oh, man. See, I think probably Lindsay can cook though. So, like, I found when we were totally living meat free, I really had to cook. Like, I had to really be thinking about it. You know, John still lives totally meat free. So, Lindsay, you can share that tofurkey sandwich with him. I'm getting back to it. Healthy life choices.
My vegan powers persist.
It's true. He does totally have vegan powers. Those of you that know what he's talking about and get that movie reference, have a moment. Squeal. That's one of our go-to romantic movies, actually, for him and I.
Scott Pilgrim.
Yep. Yeah, Princess Bride, which is not a romantic movie or book. I don't know why we associate with that.
Mm-mm.
It's a terrible story. Everybody died. It's terrible. What the heck? What were we thinking? Sometimes you and I have the weirdest romantic movies.
It's true.
Just weird. What were we thinking?
I don't know.
Coming along this edge and pulling it down. This is so nice. Not as far on this side. Not as deep and dark on this side. All right. So I'm going through the content ID thing, babe. Getting ready to unlock the space.
You unlocking the space. Yes,
unlocking the space in New York.
I saw you doing the videos.
So apparently YouTube has these special training videos where they explain to you what the heck you should have known before you started making videos in the first place.
Yep.
And I got, through weird series of events, locked into content ID and copyright.
Oh, that's right. You watched that, like, I swear I had to watch it 6 times or so.
So there's this adorable girl that stars in the videos named Jane.
Oh, yeah.
I totally want to meet her now. She's so funny.
Popping in and out of the screens.
And also, it was, like, shocking the stuff. Like, I know a lot of copyright stuff, like, a lot.
Yeah.
But trademark wise, I was really like, whoa.
Interesting stuff to learn.
There was. I think music, which I don't know that much about, was probably the most interesting. Just, it exhausted me. Just like, to the point where, like, if a musician came up and like, you want to use my music, be like, slap.
I think you slapped your mic off.
I would slap and be like, stop it, get away. I'm in a weird mood today. I'm going to add a little yellow to my mixture over here. Just a smidge. Just a little bit of yellow. Oh, and I need to add some white to it to lighten it up. More yellow, more white. Let's lighten it up. Let's put out some more white.
More white.
Yeah.
You turned yourself off again.
I'm just bumping it.
It is.
Here it is. Okay. So, having trouble with the mix.
What you looking for there?
Just a middle.
A middle?
Sometimes you're just looking for the middle. It's just so weird.
Oh.
I'm looking for the middle. I'm just trying to pull this because I just need a little bit of this around here. Not everywhere. Not constantly. Just a little bit here and there. And there was like maybe a little here. What we're saying is that the sun is shining through this very interesting umbrella. And this is how I was reflecting that. And you can see I'm still keeping this way down my bristles.
Yeah.
Way, way down. And now I'm going to come over and really, 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 really lighten it. Really, really. Really, really.
Really, really.
Really, really. I'm going to say really, really too many times.
So Trish says she's really excited. And so she says, I love the umbrella paintings and I am excited you'll be doing more.
Oh, yes. So many umbrellas yet to do. I would love to know. I should have put up a poll. I have one of a guy. I feel like women are really under the umbrella, and I have one of a really awesome guy in a suit with a blowing tie.
I want to see that one done.
I like that one. But I don't know if anybody else would want to paint that. I don't know if it's like the quail. Like, no.
No. Kim Sims thinks I should take your mic button away, though.
She does?
Yeah. You don't get any buttons.
I'm thinking, because I've like, every time I put my wrist down my bracelet.
You've mismanaged the one button we've given you.
Well, first of all, I'm painting with the broken brush, so hang with me.
No.
Look at me just refusing to give up. I will paint with this broken brush, and I will never give up. Pay attention to your brush strokes on this umbrella and try to curve them out the direction that you want them to be. Are you coming over to take my button away? I hear you rustling around. It's making me nervous. Oh, you are coming. Thank you. I'm going to put this in water, and I'm going to grab this one, which is just like that one, but not broken. Don't do.
Oh, hold on. But they didn't see any of that because they were up. It was on the up close camera the entire time.
You missed the funniest thing that's ever happened on YouTube. I'm so sorry for you. I'm so sorry.
That was my fault. I pushed the wrong button.
It was brilliant.
Now they're going to be blaming me.
Oh my gosh. It was brilliant. It would have been hundreds. It would have been a GIF and hundreds of millions of views.
It was
so good. So good.
I handed you brushes.
So good. It's just brilliant. Funniest thing I've ever done in the whole history of my channel, and it wasn't recorded.
Nope.
Can't do it again.
Mm-mm.
You'll never know. So you're going to notice that this yellow is coming through, and it's really helping create a glow on your umbrella. If you need to try to come back here and create a little bridge or a blend, you can do that while it's still wet. You can also use blending mediums or gels to get that to help you. And there's just lots of ways to get this. Or just interlock it like I'm doing right now. I'm just trying to create midtones and ranges and pull this sort of shading in. But you can kind of see how the umbrella is shading now. Now, the neat part of the umbrella is we're going to get right back into this sort of yellow-green.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm going to pull a lot of white. And just right here, so there's an interesting thing. The actual curve of the umbrella is behind her head a little bit. Her head got a little big on me. I'm going to shorten it. Don't worry, your traceable is perfect. I have to freehand these things in. And so I'm going to pull this nice yellow out here. So there's the height of the umbrella. Right, coming around, you can kind of see that with the yellow. Isn't that fun?
That is fun.
It's so fun. It's so fun. Oh my gosh, it's so fun. You know, I'm not here.
Where'd you go?
Hi.
There you are.
All right. Right. Now I'm gonna get a little oxide into my white. I'm gonna add just a smidge of yellow to it, so it's just sort of between yellow oxide and cad yellow, which many of you have done on your mixing charts, so you know exactly what I'm doing. You're like, oh, I know this mix. Totally familiar. And I'm gonna just tone the top of that umbrella back a little bit. Yeah? Yeah. Just a little bit. Maybe a little bit of a showing here. There we go. Look at that. How good are we? Aren't we good?
Awesome.
It's awesome. Skin tone. We got to make some.
Okay.
Everybody went, wait, skin tone?
How do you do that?
We're gonna do a skin tone cheat.
Oh, yeah?
This is not the appropriate way to make skin tone. But we're going to take a little cad red, just a smudge, over to the yellow oxide.
Huh.
Just a little bit until it's kind of like this little tomato rosy pink. And then we're going to mix a lot of white into it. You may need to tone it with a little burnt sienna for the painting. All right. Now I'm going to come on the face. And I'm going to put this quick mix of skin tone on the face. The purple undertones are going to gray it out so that later it's as grayed out as it needs to be. Also down the arm, at the elbow, kind of just below it, I'm going to put a little of this pink down the hand. We may come back with a little bit of purple, like you do.
Marcia says you're painting along pretty fast. She can barely keep up.
And Marcia, am I?
She's
Sorry,
like she's gonna have to take a break. She's like you're a fast painter, Sherpa.
I am. I'm really fast. Someday if you guys ever want to see how fast I can actually be,
It's like we should do just like when you're
see me actually go full speed.
Yeah.
Sometime I don't do it because it just feels mean. It's just like, here, let me show you how to do painting. I'm going to talk too fast to listen to. I'm going to paint too fast to paint along with it. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch me do it. But if you guys ever would like to see,
we should do one just for the heck of it.
for the heck of it,
Yeah, just
the full tilt, full speed.
I don't know.
Oh,
Why not?
I don't know. I'm going to take a little of my ultramarine blue.
So, how can you make some darker skin tones?
Well, So I don't have the full thing here, but darker skin tones, generally really to make skin tones, I'd have nickel yellow azo. I would have raw burnt and sienna also involved, and burnt umber. I would have a viridian green, cerulean blue. Believe it or not, there's a lot of colors in skin tones, and the deeper you get, the more into cool colors that you get.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about creating those deeper, cooler colors. This is not a good mix for a dark skin tone.
Gotcha.
Really. I mean, I can kind of pull one here. Like if I was just trying to pull one here, maybe I'd get a little of the burnt sienna and a little of the dog's name purple over, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that could be like a low tone, but gosh, you'd want to like grade out with a little bit of green, but not over grade out like I just did. It's like kind of a thing with this group of colors. It's kind of a thing. There we go. That's nice. And then you can add white to it. See? To highlight it, but you might want to do something warmer like this yellow ochre. Can we kind of see how that would go?
Yeah.
Right, and you definitely don't want to lose the fact that there's these, peach undertones in there. And so that's kind of what you would do. And you just never want to underestimate your blues and green underhues on skin tones is what it is.
So
Which gets a little crazy for people. And it's really tough sometimes to paint skin tones. Because like even in light skin tones, there's like so many like warm and cool hues, and then you cannot believe. Look, I know your whole life you've been told people come in many colors, but you really have no idea. You really don't. Until you've done a life drawing class and you've done some life painting, you have no idea how many colors people come in. You just like look at that crayon box and go, "That's so underrepresented." Just completely. We are diverse.
So there's a lot of people saying they're requesting a quest
on skin tones.
On skin tones.
Yes, I know. It's going to be a long day. Actually, I think we'll almost have to break the quest down into kind of like different skin tones. I mean, that could be like 6 quests because that, and then you've got noses, ears, mouths, and fingers.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is, when somebody said, I think somebody a while ago, listen, if anyone says to you, your skin tones are uneven, be like, yeah, because I'm human. If
Right.
I paint even skin tones in my painting, I messed up.
Right.
Right? It is fabulous what we can do with makeup about how we kind of create this sort of smooth, even surface and all this stuff going on. But when I'm really painting people, there's going to be tonal ranges.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
right?
A lot of them.
And in this phase, there's a lot going on. Oh my gosh, if you paint somebody with freckles, like, let's get it on.
Yeah.
Okay. So really, back to what you guys like to say, the only normal is that button on my dishwasher.
Yep.
That's pretty much true.
Okay.
So soapbox on skin tones.
We're going to do
unrelated to what we're doing here because we're going to get some blue and purple together. Right? A little of that. And I think I'm going to add a little burnt sienna to it, but I want it to stay very purple. Very, very purple. And I'm going to come over and get a little white. Right? And I'm going to just across here, across her bust, and then across this chest create kind of this neat little shadow. Right? And I definitely want to create some little shadow here underneath this arm. We're going to come back and do some stuff along here. And I want to accentuate this space under her corset. And let's start pulling some streaks up. I'm going to come in on this crease right here. Right here. See it? I'm going to start pulling some streaks up.
I can kind of see it. I want to zoom out a little bit more.
You're going to zoom out a little bit more? I'll pull some streaks up into her dress. We got some stuff going on. It's a good time to put them in. It's a good time, guys. It's a good time. It's a good time to put in these streaks. Because what we're doing is we're creating a directional line trying to say that there's this wind that is blowing her skirt. And you have to put it in with your implied lines, your brush strokes. And then down here at the edge of the skirt, it is darker than the rest. So you can go ahead and add that down there. And you don't have to be that specific. You can be pretty loose. Pretty loose. Scrumbly, right? Fun stuff, my friends. Fun stuff. Now, you know that the dark skin tones we mixed earlier with a little bit of the burnt and a little bit of the dog's name purple?
Yes.
We're going to get back into that, interestingly enough. And you're going to add a little white to it. And we're going to come in and start creating the little shadow that is this cool shadow across her arm. And I notice I wiped my brush. I'm picking up a little more white. And I'm coming along this inside of her arm and just creating this little highlight. Right? Good stuff. Good stuff. I get a little of the purple and white, and then we're going to come up and just on the high part of the hand, make sure that we've got that little dab going down. It's not a lot we should be seeing. All right? And you can come and get a little of your yellow ochre without rinsing off your brush and a smidge of your white. And just again, add a little highlight right here. Just not a lot happening. You can come and bring some of this into this arm over here too. And that's quite good. That's quite good. Did you know that was quite good?
I did.
I'm going to take a little of my ochre and my white. And right here, I'm going to make a little kind of yellow highlight. Comes up along the shoulder. Maybe just a little right there. There's a little happening right here around the belly. See, he didn't paint a lot, but what he painted said a lot. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He didn't paint a lot, but boy, when he said it with his paint, he said it like a bell. So I'm just going to take some of this ochre and white and start enforcing what's happening on this dress. Because actually, we're going to be taking this up to the dress. Is the dress blue and gold, or is the dress, you know, is it blue and black and is it gold and white? It's neither, guys. It's a whole bunch of undertones. Right? And that's what you gotta, you know, just pulling this forward. See how I'm using my brush directionality?
Yeah.
I haven't rinsed my brush, so as I'm dropping it down, pigment is pulling out of it. Taking advantage of what the tool naturally does. That's all I'm doing. Just taking advantage. Are you taking advantage?
I'm actually just sort of.
I'm just trying to keep up with this
watching.
crazy that you're doing. I'm going to pick up just a smidge of purple on the tip of my brush and some more white. Some white, some white. And I'm going to come here and I'm going to add this highlight along the shoulder and then a little bit right here along the arm. You see that?
Yeah.
Just not a lot. I'm going to come here and add some of that same highlight right here. And I'm letting the purple be there, but I'm bringing this in. And then I'm bringing that around because the dress is white.
Gotcha.
White. It's white, in case you didn't know. Now come in and grab some just white and start really telling the story of, but I haven't rinsed my brush. Trick, trick, trick. Don't rinse your brush. Just enjoying that. May have to put out some more titanium white.
Yeah.
I'm almost done with the dress, believe it or not.
Wow.
Not a lot going on here, and it's going to be okay. And then it's really going to just be the scarf, some detail on the umbrella, and the veil across her thing, and then we're done, and then it's just grass, and we're done. We're really actually close to done.
Huh.
If people were feeling a little fatigued, I'm going to pull a little blue out. A little bit.
Everyone's pretty much enjoying hanging out in here. There's lots of people. Judy said John is Cinnamon's Ed McMahon.
Oh my gosh, he so is. Isn't it true? I've grabbed a little blue and white. I'm creating a little shadow right there. And guys, right along the edge of this skirt, I'm going to pull it down here. Right along this outside edge.
Okay.
See me pulling it up?
I do now.
The purple is still there, but I'm kind of like taking this beautiful thick paint and I'm pulling it up. And I'm putting a little of it in the skirt.
It looks like you're leaving just ever so slightly amount of that purple shine through.
I am. I'm just tricky like that. Not as tricky as Mr. Monet, but I'm pretty tricky. I'm sure we would have been buds. Probably not, though. I'm a woman. Probably not. I'm not being historically accurate here, am I? I probably wouldn't even have been allowed to paint and teach like I am. So, yay for modern times.
You know, with the lack of intertubes.
Yes.
And multi-camera switching equipment.
Yes. So we've got these nice blue and white tones happening, and see how they just really make the dress feel whiter?
Yeah.
Even against this crazy, crazy sky.
Yeah.
One last touch. Rinse your brush out. Rinse it out. Because I say so.
Monet was right.
What?
She is pointing left.
Yes. All right. We're going to put some just here and there, some beautiful white, just white, rinsed out here and there on the dress. And see how that now really feels truly white. Maybe a little bit on her sleeve and a little bit right here. Definitely some here. I think there'd be a lot right there because that would be right in the sun.
Now, historically, they were wearing like a bustle?
Oh, yeah. You know what the underpinnings are. I don't even know why you're like even asking. You know underpinnings better than I know underpinnings.
Well, a lot of our community was curious. It's like, she's you know.
She's wired
There's a lot of
up.
dress
This
back
girl
there.
right now is in a lot of pain. Her dress probably weighs 25 pounds. It has a cartridge pleated skirt. It is probably made with a heavy woven fine muslin or linen. The underpinnings are wired with either bone or some other horrific material. There is an underskirt, and this is her casual day dress. So understand this. This is the dress they give her to romp in the sun. It probably took 2 to 3 people to get her in, and a contraption to pull the corset down.
Fun!
Fun! Whatever could have held women back? I have no idea. What could it have been?
It captures the sunlight beautifully in the painting, though.
Yes, we did. But probably not her circumstances. Oh, are we still on?
Nope.
MapQuest works. All right. How are we doing it on people back in the
I
room?
think we're okay.
I was doing something over here. I got to remember what the heck that was.
You were painting.
Painting. Yeah, I was about to paint in her hat.
You were?
I was.
Okay.
So I'm going to take a little of this yellow ochre.
I feel like I want one of those little clappers so I can go, action.
And my titanium white. And I'm going to come along the brim of this hat and kind of work this in with the gold. Right? Got our little brim in. The brim.
The brims.
The brims. Right? Got that there. I'm going to wipe my brush off on my towel, and I'm going to weirdly get some just, well, maybe add a little ultramarine because I like it, to the phthalo. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to come and just on this corner of the hat, darken it. Can you guys see the corner? Can you guys see the corner?
Yeah, we can see the corner.
Okay.
I can see the corner.
Just want them to know I'm with them.
Let me see how.
I'm going to pull it forward a little bit. And then I'm going to take
Look at
this
that.
green, this crazy green that we like so much. I'm going to pull this down along the head and across the neck. Just a little bit, guys. Not too far. Don't know why it's here, but we're going to put it there, right? Because we're just copying what he did.
That's right.
We're not messing around. We're just copying it. And then I'm going to do this interesting thing here. I'm going to make a little dot here. And I'm going to just imply some ribbies. Just a couple places, just dashing out. Maybe some here and a little here. And a little one going up there. Just to say, hey, there's some structure in this umbrella, but nothing too much we need to worry about. We have this here. Now get your dog's theme purple. What? No, that's
What is
phthalo.
that?
That's ultramarine. What color am I
That's
looking
a
at?
color. That's not that color.
It's not that color. So I'm going to take this over here. I'm going to mix the dog's theme with the ultramarine.
I don't think that color means what you think it means.
I don't think it does either. And I'm going to take this dark color and I'm going to darken this hat. I'm going to do an interesting thing. I'm going to pull down this little hairline, right, on her face. It's sort of dark, right? I'm going to come just lightly. Oh, this is light, like Cookie or Charlie pressure. Did you guys see Cookie the cat?
I saw Cookie the cat. Oh,
Cookie the cat.
that was so
Or
cute.
Charlie the cat. They're kind of like, I love you guys as furry pets. So I'm going to pull this over as lightly as Cookie would chase the brush. Maybe Cookie's chasing the brush right now.
Maybe.
I don't know. He could be.
That would
So-
be Inception Cookie brush chasing.
That would be Inception. I'm also going to take a dark line very carefully, run it through my hand, and make a little umbrella shape here. Right? So I've got that sort of in, and this here, all this sort of dusted in. You can kind of come along this brim and just define it a little bit. You can even dust a little of this dark color into this green that we have. Now, wipe your brush. Don't rinse, wipe it. And you're going to pull just a little ultramarine It's got a little dusting of that purple in it, but much more ultramarine. And coming off here, flowing off into the breeze in an arabesque line. We're going to, it's that nice sort of concave curve line. We're going to do her scarf. Her scarf is slightly see-through, which probably would have been very pricey at the time. And again, this is very light brush strokes. It's what we don't paint. We paint that gives it its translucent texture. So see how that's just coming off?
Mm-hmm.
And that's all that takes. And then I'm going to wipe my brush, but not rinse it again. I'm going to get white paint. White, white, white. And then here on the face, I'm very lightly going to paint in what is clearly her veil. It's over her face to protect her face from the sun.
You sure she's not rocking a mullet?
Sure. Dude, don't. Monet did it. I'm going to grab a little of my Cad Red. It has a little dog's name purple in it, but just a titch, right? Just a titch. And I'm going to just dab, 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 dab her little red design right there. And she's done.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Now it's just grass. Now it's just grass, guys. And the first layer of the grass is going to be
What are you getting there?
is going to, this cap is not working, is going to be a little burnt sienna and white. All right. And I'm going to make some soft, kind of upward curving little brush strokes. If you want to have it be a little bit darker and a little more burnt, you can always add a little of the ultramarine blue to it to make those, see?
Yep. So everyone's asking, the red that you put on her dress there,
Yeah.
that was some sort of embroidery or design. It was
I think it was supposed to be a little flower embroidery, like one of the silk ribbon flowers.
Ah. That was on the original Monet hat.
Here's the truth. You can actually probably dig up that answer because people write their PhD thesis on Monet all the time, and somebody has figured out exactly what this chick was wearing.
Probably where she was from, who she is,
everything.
her family lineage.
Everything.
Ridiculous.
Certain artists, they're so researched and so studied and so documented, and they wrote so many letters and so much stuff happened around them that they pretty much, for a non-social media time in history, are all up in their biz. Like, way up in their biz. You'll be sitting there going, for not having Facebook, we know a lot about this person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm just doing these little dashing upward brush strokes, and I am going to be...
I have to say, though, that the stories that are being told about what's happened to this young lady in her comments are very funny. It ranges from a zombie, she's just survived a zombie attack, to that she's been into a gunfight.
Sure. All possible. I'm going to make a little space where a shadow is going to be, and I'm going to leave that negative space. Whenever I talk about negative space, it's space that I'm not painting, right? I'm going to come along here, and then I'm going to also, with some upward brush strokes, I'm going to leave this little kind of strip.
Mark Muir came back with like some really good, juicy bit of knowledge.
Oh, is it zombie-related knowledge?
No.
Okay.
No. He says that that's Monet's wife he painted.
There you go. It's probably why there's a lot of her going a bunch of different directions.
Well, there you go.
You'd have to have love to stand as long as it takes to do a portrait. My mom was like, if you guys are in my mom's class, ask her about when she had her portrait painted.
Oh, yeah.
She's a lot of feelings about it still. I'm surprised people ever stop for this. So we're just painting this along, right?
Just painting along.
Just painting this along. And we're going to come back through here. Lots of white. Lots of white. And we're going to put in all these little dashes for these little grasses. Sometimes the grasses will be darker and sometimes they will be lighter. But what they will be is overlapping her skirt at this back edge.
Mm.
They will be helping vanish this line of this hill and creating the first layer of the dry grasses she was standing in.
So Rose says that this is Monet's second wife's daughter.
See?
We will be doing more Googling.
See, Googling.
That's interesting. Just see there, but
You
that
got to
just
be
goes to-
careful though, because Google will take something that's true, like they just figured out that Van Gogh was like friends with Gauguin, but then they'll like the internet will then take it and like imply a bunch of stuff
and then break that.
they're gonna make it salacious, which doesn't mean it wasn't. It's just
Different.
Wikipedia is not necessarily factual.
Well, it tries to be.
It
but
tries to be.
It tries to be.
It makes its effort to be.
But it is a publicly curated.
Basically, but you can look up people's master's thesis and read those.
Yeah,
that's published stuff, and you can see what their best guess was. You can also see what museums have. Go ahead and, if you can, swing the extra for the microphones, for the earphones on the museum tour.
Yes.
Yes, definitely. So see how now that the grass is starting to come in, it's crazy how easy this piece is. It's a little time consuming, but it's easy. Right? A little bit. I'm just dabbing and dashing along on my bright. This is a number 4 bright I'm still doing. If you guys had missed that with the breakdown of the broadcast and everything. Number 4. A little way. Just come along here. It's fun stuff. Fun. Just painting these little dry brown grass. Oh, almost to my coffee that I just made.
Almost.
To get through the second half of the interrupted broadcast. Do you love how pro we are? I love how pro we are. Like if you're here and you're here for the upload, you have no idea it all went wrong other than we told you. Because it'll be all seamed together beautifully. But there's a whole brave 100 and something souls that hung in through
There's 160 now. They're just coming back in here.
160 people who were painting along, who just saw their instruction go away. Didn't panic, hung in because they knew we'd come back.
We had probably like 250, 280 somewhere in there right before the broadcast went down.
Yeah.
And so
we don't blame them for going.
No.
Seriously,
it's like where did it go? Because like I'm sitting here and all of a sudden all the lights go out and the computers are still on, but
But that pretty much ruins the stream.
It does.
YouTube can do all it can, but that's going to do it in.
So now I know why they have those cool vans that do all that stuff.
Yeah. In the storm. I want that broadcasting van that broadcasts from like storms and stuff.
Yeah, me too.
Rinse. With
the satellite dish.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to do an interesting thing. I'm going to take a little of my ultramarine blue, scotch a smidge over here, and I'm going to knock back my CAD.
Ian's like, I'm here because we're hardcore.
Hardcore. Hardcore hardest, man. We're hard. Thank you to my hardcore hardest. I need a sip of me.
And then more of them just keep coming in. More and more. We have lots of... Thank you guys for joining us. First of all, thank you very, 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 very much for coming back. And all of our moderators who are out there and reminding me that for like, comment, subscribing, and all of those things that I forget to do the calls of actions to.
Thank you. Yes, definitely subscribe. That helps us. And then also helps you know when the video is.
Yeah.
I've got that kind of tinted down, that bricked out red that I had up in there in the little flower. And I'm going to make some little dashes in my grass here. I'm going to disperse them here, like I've got them in the lower left, and then I'm going to come over and put some more in the further left, and then maybe along this grass line. And then not too many, about that many. Not too many. Rinsing out my brush. Rinse. And I'm going to take a little of my burnt sienna over to my dog's-ane. I'll add a little white to it, just so it brightens. Not like a lot, but just a little. Because it's a shadow, right? Notice he's not using any black in his artwork.
Interesting.
And I'm going to add some of this. Just these little dashes along here. Picking up some more dog's-ane. That's gotten a little more purple, and that's okay. Look at how that implies the shadow.
It does.
Isn't that wonderful? How he chose to say that story. He told you a whole story about an outing, didn't he? And you feel like you know this girl. You guys are looking her up. You're thinking about her.
There's an entire storyline where she's visiting with a megalodon
See?
See? Yep.
You're having an imaginative world.
There's definitely an imaginative world.
I'm going to put a little burnt into my phthalo here. And I'm going to fill this in with some nice phthalo green. Really finish out this shadow. Just watching this dark color. If they mix and gray out, that's okay because I want a nice dark color. It's alright if some of these go in front of her skirt and layer her back into the hill she's on. But pick up some more green. Just bring it out here, and then I'll leave that little space there. So there's the shadow.
Yeah.
Now I can take a little white, right, and a little, maybe cad yellow, I think. And I'm going to put some of this green around places.
Nice.
Maybe a little more white in it. Okay. And some up in here.
So which green is it you're using there?
The phthalo green, I added a little cad, and then I just tinted it back with a little oxide.
Gotcha.
I want just a little oxide, and I'm just interspersing some of that through here, and then, you know, I just want to know I have some of that there, and I'm going to put a little more white, because that's what I'm using the most. Oh, wait, I think I've got a little spatch here, yeah. So I've got this here. I'm going to add a little oxide to it. It's quite light. I'm going to add some of this kind of minty dry grass through the space. Me adding it through. Then I might pick up a little of that dark grass that I made.
Mm-hmm.
And just a couple spots, like maybe right here, just a little spot of some dark grass. Oh, could have had some here. Just like a little bit down there. Like some right here. Rinse, rinse, rinse. Rinse, rinse, rinse. And pull that out again and get some yellow and some white. I've got this very bright one. Just right along here, I'm going to take this bright. All right, I'll just be dashing. You can see the bright, how it pops in there.
Yeah.
Just a little fun. He clearly was just having a little fun. He had a color that he liked, mixed up. Talking about maybe some new blades of grass that are popping up for the season or dying back. Look at that. Guess what?
What's that?
Ooh. And that's my coffee.
Oh. Well timed.
Yeah. Hey.
But you did it.
We did it. We did it together. You did it. You took some time for yourself. You created art. You probably lowered your blood pressure. You gave a little bit back to yourself, and it's okay to do that. It is okay to give a little bit back to yourself so you can give to the world. That's how you give to the world. You got to have a little of you to give anything to anybody else. It's okay to rest, restore, make healthy life choices. I'm going to become a bigger fan of that. I'm working on it. To do those things that put you back into you and spending a little time. Oh, I love this painting. Having a lovely afternoon painting with Monet.
Yeah.
Across time, across space and time. Here we are, spending a little time with Monet and each other and yourself. Totally valuable. And we survived alive.
Yeah.
I want to see you guys at the easel really soon.
Love you guys.